Hey y'all, it's your girl Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 7, Episode 3. The episode starts off with Fatima frantically looking for Andy, and Andy finally comes in and she's like, "Where were you? I've been trying to call you." She's like, "Why? What's wrong?" She's like, "Gary's being investigated by the FBI." Andy's like, "The FBI?" Fatima's like, "Yeah, but I hear he didn't come with the money, honestly." Andy's like, "Gary's an astute businessman." Fatima's like, "Sorry to break it to you, but Gary is a high-level scammer, and they think that he's been embezzling money. I've been ear hustling, and it don't look good for none. Fatima's like, "Your boy about to get us fired." And he's like, "You know that's not my boy." Fatima's like, "You better get ready to prove it, because they called an emergency meeting today, and all the partners are coming." Fatima's like, "Gary's business has left us all vulnerable." And he's like, "I should be fine. I haven't dealt with Gary in a long time." Fatima's like, "Well, that penthouse of that car, that's all in your name, right?" Andy's like, "Yeah." Andy's like, "I should be good, though, right?" Fatima's like, I don't know about that, because if they find out that you got that money in a funny way, it's not going to be good." That's when Hayden pops out of nowhere and he tries to put his arms around Andy and Fatima, and Fatima's like, "Get off of me." Hayden's like, "Nobody's had more dealings with Gary than you, Andy." Andy's like, "Ain't that your friend?" Hayden's like, "Well, the FBI came to my house last night and I told them everything I know, because the business I had with Gary is on the up and up, so I should be fine." And he's like, "I should be fine too." Hayden's like, "You sure?" Fatima's like, "Don't answer that, because he might be wearing a body." Hayden's like, "When these white rich men start getting scared, somebody's bound to get thrown on the bus, Andy, and you look like an easy target." Hayden's like, "Look, we're all on the same page. When I have the meeting with the partners, I won't mention your name, and I hope you won't mention my name." Andy's like, "I can do that." Fatima's like, "Keep it cute, because things can always change." And that's when Hayden leaves, and Fatima's like, "Look, we gotta get your story together." Over at Danni's house, we see Danni frantically cleaning because she's getting ready for the therapist that's about to come over. She asks for Tony's help, but Tony's still laying in the bed, and then he tells her, "Actually, I'm about to get ready for work, so I gotta go." Danni's like, "Well, can you just help me out?" Tony's like, "What you cleaning for anyway? You clean it like it's a bread and breakfast or something. The house looks nice, you don't have to worry about anything." Danny's like, "I just want to clean up so I can make a good impression." Tony's like, "I get that." Tony's like, "Try not to go into this session with a negative mindset. Try to open up to her a little bit. She's here to help you, not judge." And he's like, "I will make a promise that I more than likely won't be able to keep." So Tony's like, "I get that, and that's okay, but tell your friend Karen I said congratulations on her salon opening." Then we see Danni trying to call the therapist to cancel the appointment, but by the time she's doing that, the therapist is knocking on the door. Then over at the salon, we see Pam trying to promote the grand opening on Instagram. And Karen's like, "Get that camera out my face." Pam is like, "Why? I'm just trying to promote the grand opening so you can have more people on the guest list." Karen's like, "I just don't want a whole bunch of random people coming here, but did you talk to the caterer and make sure everything's coming on time?" Pam is like, "Yes, I did. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it." Karen's like, "You know that's a lie." Karen's like, "I thought my friends would have been here by now, and now she's saying that the lights turn off." Karen is like, "What is happening?" The next thing you know, this white lady comes in, and Karen's like, "We're not open yet." The white lady is like, "I know, and you might not be opening today." The lady's like, "I'm here to see Karen. My name is Shauna, and I'm the building owner." Karen's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, Shauna. I'm used to dealing with the property manager." Karen's like, "I was actually just about to call maintenance about these lights. Do you have an idea what the issue is?" Shauna's like, "Yeah, insufficient funds." Karen's like, "Excuse me? The money that I put into this business is automatically drafted." It's like, "Well, the money didn't get drafted this time." Karen's like, "There must be a mistake." Shauna's like, "Yeah, I know, and I'm here to see how you're going to correct it." I'm like, "Shauna, you didn't have to be smart. I see you're going to be a problem." Karen's like, "You will get your money tomorrow." And Shauna's like, "Unless you want to have your grand opening in the dark, you will pay me today." Karen's like, "There should have been enough money in the account, but since there's not, I'll just transfer it from our personal to the business to cover." Over at the law firm, we see Hayden getting a call from Gary, and Gary's like, "Look, I'm desperate and I need your help." Hayden's like, "No, I'm not helping you. And just because I'm on the phone with you right now, I can get fired. You had the FBI sent to my house, and now my bosses are on me, and no, I'm not helping you." Gary's like, "I see what it is. You was fine with it when we was making money together." Hayden's like, "Yeah, of course. I thought the money was legit." Gary's like, "It is." Gary gets offended, and he starts calling Hayden all these types of names, and Hayden's just taking it. But he's like, "I'm not doing any federal time for you." Then he hangs up the phone. Then we see Hayden talking to somebody as soon as he gets off the phone with Gary, and he's like, "I don't have time for his BS or yours." It turns out it's Tamara, and I'm like, how and when did she come back, and how does she feel so comfortable just to be around Hayden like that? Tamara's like, "Don't worry about Gary, baby. I told you he wasn't no good." And Hayden's like, "Don't baby me." Hayden's like, "We're not cool like that." Tamara's like, "Yeah, I know. I'm here to apologize." Hayden's like, "It's not gonna be that easy." Tamara's like, "I'm sorry. Look, I know they hired me to get dirt on you, but I actually did fall for you." The whole time they're talking, Tamara's trying to seduce him, and Hayden's like, "Look, there's some crazy stuff going on here today. I don't need any spies hanging around me." Tamara's like, "Look, if I wanted to do you dirty, I could have just left and took all your money, but I'm here." Tamara's like, I know you missed me. Hayden's like, yeah, I did. I missed a few things. Tamara's like, look, we were good together. Hayden's like, look, I need you to stop because I don't trust you. Tamara's like, I don't need you to trust me. We'll get there. Tamara's like, right now, I just need you to relax and then get down to business. And I'm like, is this a dream? Because ain't no way they're doing all this and the FBI's around. Then we see Andy and Fatima talking to him. Fatima's like, I see you're not worried. Andy's like, how can I not be? I think this is my fault. Because I don't know what Gary has gotten us into. And Fatima's like, it is not your fault. All his actions are on him. Fatima's like, what we need to focus on is what the partners already know. And that's the fact that you're a great attorney. Speaking of a great attorney, did you get the email that Zach sent? Andy's like, yeah, I was actually working on it before you came in. Fatima's like, good. What about the voicemail that the arbitrator left? Andy's like, no. And the look on Fatima's face is like, you can't let this affect you, right? This is a very important case for me and Zach, and I can't let nothing get in the way of that. And Andy notices because she's like, know how important this case is to you and Zach, and I can't let nothing get in the way of that. I promise I'll get on it. Fatima's like, good, because we need to get that boy away from Heather. He needs a stable home. Andy's like, I'll do my best and do everything I can to get him. Fatima's like, speaking of baby mamas, what about Karen's grand opening? Andy's like, is it even safe to leave? Fatima's like, this might be what you need to get your mind off everything. He's like, okay, but if you hear anything, please call me. Fatima's like, I sure will. Just make sure you answer your phone. Back over at Danny's, we see Danny finally sitting down with the therapist, and the therapist is like, you know, this is not a question and answer session, right? You can't keep answering the question with a question, because every time I ask you a question, you ask me a question. The therapist is like, what made you seek out therapy? Danny's like, mimosas. The therapist is like, you want to stop drinking them? Danny's like, no. I just happen to run my mouth when I drink. I let my boyfriend and my friends convince me, and now I'm here. The therapist is like, well, they might see something that you can't. The therapist is like, how close to you are you with your friends? Danny's like, they're like my sisters. The therapist is like, well, that's good. It seems like they really care about you. The therapist is like, it seems like you don't want to be here. Danny's like, I just don't want to tell people my problems. The therapist is like, I can't force you to do anything you don't want to do. But if you continue to do this and you don't want to be here, you'll just be wasting my time and your money. Over at the bank, we see Rich coming to talk to Sabrina about what happened after brunch. And Sabrina's like, as much as I want to talk about it, I can't talk about it. Sabrina's like, I can meet you after Karen's grand opening, though. Rich is like, okay, meet me at the juice bar. As they're talking, Paige comes up to Sabrina and she says something smart. And I'm like, this lady is definitely going to be a problem for Sabrina. Over at the salon, we see Trisha up because he's there to pick up the packages that Karen wants to return, the ones that Pam keeps buying. Pam is like, all I did was buy some stuff for the salon, and Karen's like, I get that, but I just need you to come to me first before you start swiping my card because that comes back on me. That is the reason the lease payment didn't go through. And Pam is like, it won't happen again. Karen's like, I know it won't because I cut off your access. Karen's like, in the corner, those boxes are packed up for you. And Trey's like, you know I could have did that for you, right? Karen's like, well, I can't afford it. Karen's like, nothing's free. And Trey's like, I wouldn't ask you for anything. Trey's like, the only price you would have to pay is having me around longer. Unless there's going to be an issue with your baby daddy because I want him running up on me. Pam is like, she's single. And I'm like, Karen, you like projects. You like fixing people up. Because out of all these men that came up into your shop trying to holler at you, you picked a delivery guy to like. The girls finally make it to the salon, and Karen's like, I know you're not here to help though, but it's not seeing you. The girls start coming in and they start telling you problems that they have going on, and Karen's like, it's not about y'all today, it's about me. And Andy's like, well, we always talk about everything. Karen's like, not today. Karen's like, since y'all want to talk, y'all should talk to y'all friend Fatima since y'all want to be all friendly with her. Posting pictures on the gram and stuff. Danny's like, how can you say that we invited you, but you said no? The girls is like, oh, this is what it's about. Girls is like, we love you. Karen's like, y'all have a funny way of showing it because I really don't feel the love. And for the first time in a while, I can actually say I agree with Karen on something. They're trying to make it like it's not a big deal. When y'all have been with Karen on this journey, you can see how much it means to her, and y'all weren't there to support her. And y'all weren't there to help her on a special day, and y'all know how much that means to her. I get that y'all were there for the grand opening, but she called you for help. Then we see Zach sitting in his car outside of Karen's shop, and he's actually there to support her for the grand opening and to ask her for a DNA test. That's the reason he has flowers. He thinks that giving her flowers will soften the blow, and as he's practicing his speech to give Karen, Karen's mom, Miss Lisa, hops in the car. And she's like, what are you doing here? And Zach is like, I'm here to support Karen on her grand opening. And Miss Lisa basically tells him that he shouldn't be there because all he's doing is he's going to confuse Karen and she's going to think it's more. Miss Lisa's like, I understand you want to be nice, but y'all both need to set boundaries with each other and not cross them. Zach finally takes heed to what Miss Lisa's saying, so he realizes that what she was saying is right. alright, and he goes home. Over in Gary's office, Gary's sitting down with Penelope and he's trying to apologize to her, and he's telling her that he bought her flowers and her favorite Vietnamese food, and Penelope's like, this doesn't excuse what you did. Gary's like, I don't even know why I did it. While he's talking, he opens up the food and he comes closer to Penelope to give it to her, but he spills the food in her lap. Penelope's like, oh, my dress. Gary's like, there is soap and napkins in the bathroom down the hallway. You can go clean yourself. Penelope's dress is soaked, and I'm like, how much moisture is in that food that it leaks from the front to the back? But it turns out that Gary spilled the food on her on purpose so that he could get into her purse and to have access to her cards so he could take pictures of them. And I'm like, how low down and dirty do you have to be to do something like that? There's a special place in hell for you, Gary, because that's still your child's mother at the end of the day, and you will do anything to hurt your child's mother, for real. It is finally time for Karen's grand opening, and we see her cutting the ribbon. I'm like, oh, Karen, I'm so proud of you. This has been a journey, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes you, but I hope it's a positive and great one. Then we see the girls talking to Pam, and they're praising her, telling her thank you for always helping Karen, and Pam walks off, and it's just the girls and Karen now, and they're talking to Karen, and they're like, you've done a great job with this new salon, and we're all very proud of you. And he's like, the girls and I are sorry for how we acted, but we got you a gift, and we love you very much. Then Karen's like, at least y'all came to support me unlike somebody else. They're like, somebody? You talking about Zach, aren't you? Karen's like, yeah. I thought at least he would be here because he's my child's father, but little do you know, Karen, he was there to support you, but your mom sent him home because she didn't want him giving you mixed signals. As the girls are talking, Andy gets a call from Fatima telling her to get to the office because she's hearing people talk and they're mentioning her name. Andy goes back to the girls and tells them that there has been a small work emergency and she has to go, so she tells them she loves them and then she leaves. Rich and Sabrina finally make it to the juice bar and they're sitting down having a conversation about what happened after brunch and how Sabrina wants kids and she really wants marriage, and Rich basically tells her, I have 8 siblings and I raised them all. I don't want kids. Then he tells her, if we see a future together, you never know what may happen. I might change my mind. I'm like, Sabrina, he's basically telling you to wait around for him. And of course, Sabrina says, yeah, I'll wait. I'm like, Sabrina, you should have said no. Sabrina, you should never sacrifice your own happiness at the expense of somebody else. If he doesn't want kids right now, you should have left him right where he was sitting and found somebody that's willing to give you the marriage and the kids that you want. Over at Zach and Fatima, Zach walks in from Karen's grand opening with flowers, and he sees Fatima, and he's like, what are you doing here? Fatima's like, I'm here to get my flats because the office is crazy today, dealing with Gary and he's messing with the FBI, and Zach is like, wow, that's crazy. Fatima's like, oh, babe, you bought me flowers, and Zach is like, actually, these flowers were for Karen and her grand opening. Fatima's like, you were going to go to her grand opening with some flowers, and Zach is like, no, it's not what you think. I actually went there to ask her for a paternity test. Fatima's like, you asked her on the day of her grand opening? Fatima's like, your timing is all wrong, and Zach is like, all I'm trying to do is get this stuff done before the court hearing. My intention was to go there with the flowers and ask her, but her mom stopped me and told me I shouldn't do it because I'd be giving her mixed signals. Fatima's like, I agree with her mom, but what you could have did was told me about it. Zach is like, my bad, I know I should have. Then Fatima leaves and Zach calls Gary, and I'm like, what are you calling Gary for? Then I thought about it. Zach has dealings with Gary because of Bryce, and Bryce gave Gary the money to put into the property, but the property never went through because Gary didn't pay them the money, which led to Zach's accounts being frozen, and Bryce had to call his dad for the money. Back over at Gary's office, we see Gary talking to Hudson, and Hudson's on the computer doing some work, and Gary's talking about Andy and how she's ungrateful and she can't answer the phone, but he funded her whole lifestyle, and it's probably Jordan or one of Andy's exes who called the FBI on him. And Hudson's like, is she gonna be a problem for us? And Gary's like, no, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. The whole time Gary was talking, Hudson was on the computer trying to get Penelope's account, which he was able to. He got access to her life insurance policy, which means that Gary is going to end up killing Penelope so that he could give her life insurance money. That's how she goes missing. Gary, you really have to be very sick, conniving, and evil to hurt a pregnant lady, the one that's carrying your child. What happens if you kill your child? You'll be in jail for 2 life sentences, all because you wanted some quick money. We're at the law firm. Fatima is trying to prepare Andy for a meeting with Leland. Fatima's like, have you got your story together? Andy's like, yeah, I'm gonna just tell him the truth. Well, really only part of the truth. Fatima's like, what you gonna say? Andy's like, I'm gonna just tell him that me and Gary dated for a while and we're not. Fatima's like, girl, you gotta come up with something better than that. They're not gonna believe you. As they're talking, Leland walks by and Andy's like, bring him in because I want to talk to him. Fatima's like, you sure you want to do that? Andy's like, yeah. Fatima's like, you sure you don't want me to stay? Andy's like, it's okay, you can go. Then we see Leland walk in, and when he walks in, he's letting Andy have it. And Andy's like, I'm sorry you feel this way, but to let you know, I'm the best thing that has ever happened to this law firm. And as they're talking, Leland starts breathing heavy and he starts holding his chest. And the next thing you know, he's having a heart attack on the ground. Andy is panicking, talking about somebody help, Mr. Leland's having a heart attack. Somebody call an ambulance. This is getting really messy. I wonder what's going to happen next. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. Bye.